If you've never watched American Horror Story but you want to know where to start, I recommend the following. Of course, the inaugural season, American Horror Story Murder House, is probably the best to begin with, only because it sets the foundation for the entire franchise. However, if you're not interested in starting with the murder house full of ghosts, I completely understand. There are other options. If you like the idea of cults and cult leaders, then season 7 is definitely for you. It's aptly called American Horror Story Cult, and I don't think it has any tie-ins to other seasons, so you could watch this one on its own and be completely fine. My third recommendation is the double feature, so I think this is season 10. Honestly, it's underrated, but it's one of my favorites. Now, like it says, this is a double feature. One half of the feature includes vampires, or at least a type of vampire, if you would even consider them that. The other half includes aliens, which do present themselves in other seasons of American Horror Story, but we don't know if they're related yet. Hopefully we'll get an answer to that in the future, but this season is really good in my opinion, and you're not going to spend too much time on either portion of it, so it's not like you're going to get fatigued by it. And for this and this alone, it feels so different than the other portions of American Horror Story. They start off really well, and it's a hit or miss how they end. But this one, in my opinion, is one of the better ones for that reason. You have two completely different concepts. Both of them are fresh in their own ways. My fourth recommendation is American Horror Story Hotel. It does have some tie-ins to previous seasons, but you're not going to miss anything if you hadn't seen season 3 of American Horror Story. It's really just going to be a weird plot point. They don't do much with it, but I do really like Hotel as a standalone season, although it does somewhat feed into another season. But again, you could watch season 5 and be just fine. If you like the idea of haunted hotels, you're going to have your fill with this season. You're also going to meet a set of vampires, which are unlike the ones from American Horror Story Season 10, the double feature that I just mentioned, but still very cool. And I will say that seasons 5 or 6 of American Horror Story are probably the last seasons that feel like American Horror Story. Anything you get after that feels like a completely different show, or at least a significantly different show, but I really think that just has to do with the number of the cast members leaving, so it loses the taste of the original one. Anyways, on to the next one. Now, following season 5 of American Horror Story, we have Roanoke. Now, Roanoke and I have an interesting history. It took me a very long time to finish this show, but once I did, it ended up being in my top 5 of the seasons that we do have. This season is hands down one of the most comedic, but it's also one of the scariest, if not the scariest seasons of American Horror Story. What's really cool about this season is that it does play with the timeline a little bit, so you get to go back in time with these characters and you get to see what happens to them and how that impacts the current state. So I really like Roanoke. Again, this is one of those seasons that you're going to have a lot of fun with because it's scary, but it's also super funny. I do find at times that you need that humor to cut through some of the more tense and heavy scenes, so I really appreciate this season. I just hate that it took me so long to watch it. Anyways, and on to my final recommendation of American Horror Story seasons to watch if you've never watched American Horror Story. We have American Horror Story 1984. Now, truthfully, there are very minor Easter eggs tying this season to others in the franchise. However, you could watch this one on your own and be just fine. Now, the only caveat I have with this season is the Hell Realms, aka the Hellmouths as Cordelia calls them. If you're somebody who has not watched previous seasons of American Horror Story, especially season 1, then the idea of the campground in 1984 is going to be lost on you, which is a problem because it plays a really huge part, albeit a mysterious part, but a huge part nonetheless. So if you don't know what a hell realm is or a hellmouth, at least do a quick Google search. That way you can get your footing and then you can enjoy the TV show. One of the things that I love about 1984 is that I was so pleasantly surprised by it. I had planned on skipping this season altogether because I have a love-hate relationship with slashers, and I didn't think this would interest me. The only reason I ended up watching it though was because my dad wanted to see it. And this season was such a delight, such a pleasant surprise. And of the seasons that we had following the golden years of American Horror Story, this one is a standout to me. It's so funny, it's campy, it's horrific. To be honest, of all the seasons, it reminds me the most of Roanoke in that regard. This is a season that you watch when you want to have a lot of fun. You're going to get emotional, but you're also going to have a lot of fun. And again, I think that's something that American Horror Story in those two seasons, Roanoke and 1984, does really well. So I hope that answered your question. And if you like videos like this, just drop it in the comments. Tell me what you want to see next, and I will see you guys in my next video.